So today I'm working on the new transom on this little boat. Lots of sanding and fitting, so let's see how it goes. So I got first part of the transom done, or at least the first piece of plywood. I couldn't film the procedure how I did it because my battery crapped out on my GoPro and didn't have another one. I wanted to keep going. Basically what it is, I glued it to the back of the boat with epoxy and the silica thickener. That stuff is really good. It never comes loose. So, but of course this is like, I think it's 3/4 inch. It's not thick enough. So I'm gonna double it up. I have more wood. I'm just gonna glue another sheet onto it. But before I do that, I'm gonna have to fill out those gaps here with epoxy. So I don't want to have any air pockets left, because all it does, it may accumulate moisture. It's gonna start rotting the wood out again. Yeah, so that's my agenda for today. Getting more work done on the transom. I got the gaps filled. Now gonna work on a second sheet of plywood to make the transom thicker. Yeah, the problem with most of those boats is the weak spots are always the transoms. They are notoriously too thin, and for some reason the boat builders don't build them all that well. Yeah, I got all the gaps filled in. That should be good. So all covered for tonight, because I'm expecting it to drop down into the 40s, which would be too cold for the epoxy to cure. So yep, that should do it. So I got my transom now doubled up, 2 sheets of 3/4 inch. So I got now, let's see, 1.5 inch thickness. It should do it. So I'm pretty confident this will be strong enough now. Again, I'm gonna have to seal up the corners and of course the bottom edge. Just a little bit too cold still this morning in January. Gonna have to wait a little bit till I can do some more epoxy work. So I'm probably just gonna start with a little bit of sanding. Has to be done anyways. So next thing is gonna be my drain plug, but I'm gonna do something much fancier. Instead of a conventional drain plug, I'm gonna put a brass tube in there, brass pipe with a ball valve that can turn on and off from the inside of the boat. So I don't have to ever worry about losing drain plugs, or forgetting putting drain plugs back in at the boat launch, which had happened to me before. Happens to everybody. But this thing is bulletproof. Plus it's fancier. So yeah, that's what I'm going to put in there. Need to drill the hole here, and that's it. So got my drain pipe installed. Just need to let the resin cure. Sticks out a little bit, but I could cut it flush later on, but I'm still gonna laminate some fiberglass on top of it, so it's probably gonna be pretty even by then. Yeah, maybe even a little bit over-engineered, but I really just don't like to mess with external drain plugs. I already mentioned it's just I'm prone to forget those damn things. And who's to say if they don't break loose or some shit like this, and next you know you're out in the water and all of a sudden the boat starts sinking. That would suck. So now gonna be the next step. Gonna have to lay some glass over the inside over the board. But in order to do that, I'm having the idea that I'm gonna hoist the boat up in the air, and so instead of working in a vertical position, which I'm really not that good laying the glass, because you know it tends to drop down, so I'd rather have it laying flat. So for that I would have to lift the front of the boat up, which I already figured some way how to do it, so that's going to be the next step. Okay, back to my little boat here. I've been a little bit negligent about taking more videos. It's just about my choice between getting more work done or, well, constantly stopping for making new clips. I don't know how some people do it, filming the whole progress and still get work done. Anyhow, so get the transom pretty much done, well, at least in a rough condition. So still takes a bunch more sanding and a little bit more fiberglass work and beautification, what have you. But most of it is done. It's about 1.5 inches thick now. That'll be good enough to hold that little 40 horsepower motor what I'm gonna put on. Yeah, as far as the rest, I yesterday finished to put the little front bulkhead in, or however you want to call it, or footrest. And I also filled out this front compartment with this marine type closed cell foam. Which is fairly hard, but the good thing is also it won't soak up water. Unlike the stuff that you can buy, let's say in the local hardware stores that spray shit, you know. Don't ever use that on boats because it's open cell and it will fill itself with water and you're left with a big sponge in the end. Okay, yeah, so that's how far I've gotten with the boat. My little drain valve here. Which in a sense is still too high. As you can see, the water has been collected before it can drain out. but that's just due to the fact that I haven't filled the bottom completely the way I'm going to. So that's why I left it a little bit higher, because I know I'm gonna fill it up a little bit, so it's gonna get filled up basically to that drain valve. Yeah, that saves me from worrying about the damn plug on the outside of the transom, that at least in my case I notoriously forget. Yeah, so that's how far I gotten on this boat. I simply used some old wood paneling that I had laying around, secured with fiberglass strips, and there's still, I foamed most of the compartment underneath out, but I ran out of the material, so I'm gonna do a little bit more fiberglass reinforcement, lay a complete mat over it so the wood doesn't rot out when moisture gets in there, which will, of course, you know. And I'm just gonna drill a few holes and pour the rest of the foam in there once I get the new shipment coming in. So till then I'm gonna continue working on the boat as usual.